Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Uh-huh. Want some candy?
Yeah. They get to look at the same maximum sculpture, but some of them have wonderful.
Yeah, totally.
All right, guys, you ready? Yeah, nope. Let's do it.
What's up, you suicidal sons of bitches? We are back, finally. Myself, Screaming E from the Memphis Murder Men, Oubliette Sparks from Tsunami Bomb, and Gucci T. Mike Terry from the Jukebox Romantics are back, finally, with another episode of Monster Candy Podcast. There's been some shit, all kinds of shit going on that has prevented us from doing this, but we're back. And we're going to talk about our friend Lisa Belcher's 2025 psychological thriller horror movie, House of Abraham.
Oh, I'm so bummed that I didn't get to be here for the episode that Lisa was on for Sinners. So if you guys heard the Sinners episode, Lisa was on that, and
She was.
I got to listen to it on my road trip, my little family road trip down to Maryland. So it was,
I'm gonna ask you some
guys.
stuff about that before we get into it. But
Oh,
yeah, anyway.
God. Oh, God. I would just like to tell everyone that I'm so happy to spend like our last moments together, potentially.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're all here.
Is there a desk we can hide under, or whatever they used to do back in the 50s and 60s for nuclear war?
No, I meant because we're at the House of Abraham.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I am also thoroughly excited about the potential of World War III. Let me tell you about it. I've spent so much of my time, dedicated to learning about history and war history, and just the thought that, I could just be a part of it is so exhilarating. It's exhilarating.
Think it and be it.
We're here, guys. We might be. Who knows?
Who fucking
Wait,
knows?
on one note, can I just say something?
Yeah.
So I am someone that is known, and especially because my job, like I diffuse things. I can be calm in the craziest of situations. Like it's very hard to get me legitimately rattled or scared, other than like ghost movies, clearly.
Similar.
So was it 2 days ago, I was talking to my dad on the phone and I heard an explosion so loud I thought it smashed most of my windows, and my dogs like fucking like bolted through the house, like one yelped and like ran the other room, and like I stopped him and I'm like, and my dad is a super Trumper too, like super like and all about everything that's going on, and I'm like, and he heard it, and his wife is on the phone too and she heard it, and I was like, that was a big fucking explosion. And I was like, guys, like I live by a quarry, but I've never heard an explosion that loud with that kind of that stuff. All of a sudden,
Iranians.
No, all of a sudden the sky all around my house went dust and brown and like swirled and then slowed down enough to where, I shit you not, like I got slightly shaky and walked outside just to like scan the perimeter to see if I saw like some kind of wave coming, like some kind of wave of dust or like like some smoke or something. Because I mean, I've like in Austin, I went and watched a building blow up and I was less than a block away, and like I know what shock feels like from explosions, and
Right.
actively will seek controlled explosions because it's super fun and cool. This was so startling, and it was something at the quarry where it broke off like almost part of my property because they did a too big explosion, because my property borders the quarry. But I
Oopsie.
swear it was the first time that I was like, what the fuck? Like I should not be living by New York City.
You're like, I'm
yeah.
so close to living out my A Boy and His Dog dream.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was pretty exciting, but
Yeah.
mostly super scary.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, not fun. I live 5 minutes from the Bronx, and there was this insane thunder the other day, right when all this stuff was going down
Oh
that was
God.
happening in Iran, and literally like it went off, and literally everybody in my neighborhood and everybody who lives around here started texting each other like, did we all think it was starting because we were all here for
False flag, false
yeah,
flag.
that's what starts happening. And I
Yeah.
looked, first thing I did was it was just me and the dog. And I was like, all right, dog, we're going. Like, it's time to
Yeah.
head north. I mean, where we're gonna
Yeah.
head.
Grab the Twinkies. We're on our way.
I live right by New York City and right by Indian Point. So like there's nowhere for me to
Yeah.
go.
Well, it freaked me out too because my neighborhood, because I live on the top of the hill, I have cell service, but if you live around it, you don't as much. It's spotty. But there's a neighborhood page where like if there's even the tiniest quarry explosion or a gunshot or whatever, even though people shoot guns out here all the time, everyone's on the neighborhood page like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Because a lot of them are older. And so this happened. I'm on the neighborhood page and like nothing. And I'm like
Oh, no.
refreshing it and I'm like, nothing. And I'm like, they're not posting about anything? Like, this is
Fuck.
fucking weird.
It hit
So-
them.
That is
So
weird.
then I look for like local news and like nothing's happening. And I'm like, okay. I finally just like was like, we're gonna go on a ride, dogs, and we'll go walk on some trails, but let's like get out of this neighborhood and just make sure that like Earth is still earthen.
Yeah, that you're not living in a dream.
Yeah. Like somehow we were in some like weird area that was
Or
fine.
are we?
Yeah, you got sent into
Everything's a
portal.
dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was fun.
Fun. Sounds a little terrifying.
Well, yeah, that's a perfect segue to get into some.
News, guys.
Scary ass
Horror
news,
news.
motherfuckers.
Ooh, just like real life.
Brought to you
Horror
by-
news, guys. We're back. What's up? Everyone's dodging nuclear war and heat waves and fucking rainstorms and jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of
Oh, shit.
us.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, we're
Mhm.
back.
I got some news.
Yeah.
Want some news?
Give it to us, Terry.
Okay, so I'll preface this because it has to do with not tonight's movie, but a movie I saw recently. So I was at the movie seeing 28 whatever later,
Oh.
and there's some.
By the
trailers.
way, if Ooblia doesn't see that soon, me and Terry are going to do a. I don't even know if it's going to be a full episode. It'll be
No, we do it.
like a point hat. Like this will be.
Isn't
an
it just
insert
some like
episode.
mother-son love story that's sad?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
so-
my answer. Guess who's not going to see it? This lady,
Yeah,
right?
Well, I don't
Yeah.
want to say anything. So anyway, I'm going to see that movie, and of course, there's trailers, and I'm getting pumped because I'm at an Alamo. We're gonna get some good trailers, horror movie. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And dude, the first trailer we get is a doozy. It's a long one. And as it's happening, I turned and looked at my buddy. I was like, whoa. And he looked at me and he went, whoa. And our friend in the middle who had no idea why we were whoaing was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I saw an extended trailer with a release date for the Allison Brie, Dave Franco Together movie. In the
Huh.
midst of all this
Lawsuit.
allegations. So my news is that two-part news of the same story. There is a trailer, a longer trailer, and it had a release date on it of July 30th, which means that like Neon and them are like trying to pump this thing out before any lawsuit gets going. According to Deadline, just posted a few days ago, they've been served with the lawsuit. They have it, and it's for copyright infringement. And the filmmakers are saying that there's no way that they stole this movie. Their lawyers are claiming that it's not a blatant ripoff. And anyway, the lawsuit was filed only a month ago on May 13th. So they have the whole lawsuit. You can read online if you go to Deadline and type in Together. You can read it there. At Sundance, basically, this movie got picked up by Neon for $17 million. It's the biggest deal out of Sundance this year, pretty much. And the originators of the original movie, which I don't know why I don't have the name of it right now, Better Half, which came out in 2023, were in the theater during the screening, and like, the nightmare of their movie unfolding in front of them happened. So we've been kind of following this on the show. I think it's pretty fucked, and I do think it's kind of crazy that the movie's going to come out anyway this quickly, that they didn't decide to just like shelve it. And it's probably because it's going to take too long for the court stuff to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just going to go for it. And then if they lose, they'll probably have to give them a bunch of money. Like, that's all I could see happening.
Oh,
Really,
totally.
like, what's gonna happen? And I would love to know how much money they get, because if it's a blatant ripoff, I would assume that, like, beyond just paying the actors and people who worked on it money, like any sort of residuals and profit would probably have to go to these people. I would think.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
I don't know. Like, if I was a judge, I'd be like, oh yeah, you stole this. They're gonna get everything possible.
Or they're hoping it just does like gangbusters, and then
they get even more money,
Right.
And then they could do whatever passion projects they got or whatever,
Or if they have to pay, they're not like losing money necessarily because it's
for
made so
having a
much.
lawsuit?
Yeah, they're like, here you go. They made $1 billion, and you can have half of that, and we still make out.
Dude, the trailer looked fucking sick. So I was really happy that the movie actually is coming out, because even though they're fucking thieves, I was like, I still want to see this. Maybe, I guess I'll pay to see it. I don't know. It's like a weird tightrope to walk. If maybe I pay to see it, and then some of that money goes to the original people if they win a lawsuit.
Yeah.
In however many years. I don't know. It looks really
rationalize
good,
it like that.
I'm pumped on it. Yeah. So that's my news. Together is actually coming out when I thought it was going to be shelved, because there was once a date of August 1st, and then that date disappeared, and then now July 30th. So
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You want to go next, Oobs?
Sure.
All right.
So there is a new series that is getting close to a pilot order from FX called Very Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
Oh no, listen, it's from Mel Brooks and the team behind What We Do in the Shadows.
I saw this news as well, and I was very excited.
Yeah, and so if it goes through Mel Brooks and two of the people he always works with that have done History of the World, Spaceballs, two of them, and then Taika Waititi would direct it. And then Stefani Robinson, who wrote, I think, What We Do in the Shadows, would come back to write, as well as one of the other team from that movie and TV show, which I'm excited for. What We Do in the Shadows, I love. I loved the first 3 seasons. I think the last ones dropped off a little bit, but that show had the best character development and just was so fucking funny. And Taika Waititi, everything he touches to me turns to gold, even the stuff that's been canceled, like the pirate show he did, I thought was so fucking good. I never
get to see that show. I heard it
you
was
need
good.
to watch it, but
it's on HBO, right? Or was it on
Black
BBC or something?
Black Flag Means Death.
Yeah, our flag means death.
Our flag means death.
Yeah.
That one I started out not thinking I was going to like it because it reminded me of a little bit of Monty Python-ish, which isn't my thing. I've never finished a Monty Python movie. Maybe if I finished it, I might like it more. I don't know, but very quickly that became one of my favorite shows, and I was so fucking pissed when it got canceled because it was so good.
I love What We Do in the Shadows. It's one of my favorite shows. I think the Jackie Daytona episode is one of the best episodes of television in like 20 years. So
Same. Real human bartender and real fucking winner on that one. Like, it's so funny.
It's a great show. Yeah, and like you said, like
it's
the last
so
couple
funny.
seasons they were still stellar. They just weren't at the same level as the first 3.
Well, because they added more characters, it got a little more diluted. I think when it was just the core characters, it was a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jackie Daytona is one of the best ones ever. There's a couple. I think there's like 3 episodes of that show that I would rate in like the top 15 TV show episodes in the last 20 years.
Oh,
so
yeah,
good.
Very Young Frankenstein. That sounds great.
Yeah. And the world needs more laughter.
Yeah.
And more monsters.
Yes, more monsters indeed.
More Frankenstein. It's the year of the Frankenstein.
That's true. Frankenstein is real hot right now. He's
the new zombie. He's the new Dracula this year.
Yeah. We went zombies, Dracula, Frankie.
First quarter of the year was all about vampires and Dracula, and now it's going to be about old Frankie Frico and
Frankie Frico. Don't get me going.
So my other one is another little quick bit. Universal Studios has been going crazy. They're releasing all their houses for Horror Nights this year. They have the new horror permanent houses in Vegas. They are opening a theme park in the UK. They're opening a theme park in Texas for kids. And now they just released that they're doing a full immersive horror experience in Chicago.
Isn't that just the south side of Chicago?
Jesus Christmas.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. But what's interesting on this is it's you would think Vegas is the one they would do like everything in, but the Vegas one is basically, at least from what I've read, just some haunted houses. This one's in Chicago is gonna be across from the Bally's Casino once it's built. But it's gonna have like fully themed and immersive bars, rooms, like it's gonna be a full 100% horror all the time experience.
Can we get
That'd
some
be
of this
cool.
in New York?
I know.
Chicago gets everything for some reason, and Vegas, obviously, because why not?
Yeah.
No,
But
you gotta pack up and take a trip to Chirac.
oh yeah. But yeah, they say it's gonna have a bunch of mazes, haunted houses. Everyone in there is gonna be a scare actor, theme bars, food and beverage themed to movies. They're gonna rotate the movies they use throughout the year. So as far as I know, like Las Vegas seems to be, they may rotate some, but it seems like there's gonna keep them indefinitely. Like its own merchandise, just like the whole shebang, which I think it's pretty cool because we play there occasionally. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Lovely.
at least it'll be something cool to do in Vegas.
Chicago.
Or Chicago. Yeah,
The Vegas one too. The Vegas is haunted houses and mazes, but
that'd be cool. Well, yeah,
Yep.
fun thing to do in Chicago.
I'm one of those rare horror
I like
breeds
Chicago.
that don't
So do
look
I.
at houses.
So I never would do them. And even back in the day, the band would do them and I'd stay behind and they'd laugh at me because I loved going to like real ghost, like haunted places.
Yeah, I could do that.
And so then the
I don't
first
like
time,
jump scares.
well, no, so I don't either. So the first time I ever went to one was the one, I think it's gone now, but it was in New Orleans and it was owned by the guys in Pantera, but it was always rated like, it's the longest. I think it's like 1.5 miles. You walk through all these
Jeez.
houses. It's so long. And at the beginning, it's got like pyrotechnics and all this, and all these metal bands would play out in the like freak carnival out in front. So it was a whole thing. So I was like,
Sick.
even if I wuss out, like I'll at least do the carnival part and the concert. And there was like a doom metal band from the 70s that my husband liked. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy tickets and like we're
Is
gonna
it
fucking we're gonna do
Pentagram?
this. No, but similar.
Goblin.
It wasn't Goblin, but Goblin played that same week.
Okay.
But anyways, so like we went, but they made some of it so metal that it made it easier for me. Like the beginning, there's a giant castle and like a girl with tits out and they like sacrifice her and there's like, fire everywhere. But that was the first time I did that. And it was crazy. Like there was swamps with like lights to where you couldn't see your feet and they'd be grabbing your feet the whole time. Like, but I made it through and I actually had fun. And my husband laughed so hard because he's like, he had never seen me kind of in real life be scared like that. And he was like, at one point, like he had to go to the bathroom so bad because I was making him laugh so hard. And he's like, you get through it by tough talking them. He's like, you get through it by tough talking them. And it's true. Like, even when I go to horror nights or whatever, I realize I do that. I'll like not go around a corner until I peek. And then if I see someone, I'll be like, I fucking see you, asshole. Like, don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. But when I do that, someone always gets me from behind or above or whatever else. But that's literally how I get through it. And I'll like jump over cracks or like get overly paranoid by like pictures and like. So
I did the one up by you.
It's just dumb. Oh, the haunted hayride?
Yeah. I did that. The houses and all that and the hayride.
Oh.
I did that. That was the first one I did. And it was tough for me, but it was fun. And then I did one on Long Island. I had a buddy from Germany from a band who was in town. And I took him because they didn't really do like Halloween really in Germany like that. And I was like, let's go to a haunted house. Like, apparently this is like the scariest one on Long Island. I don't know why I decided to go, but I went with him and it was hilarious because he's super friendly and super German. And every time somebody tried to scare us, he'd be like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
I-
exactly. Just
I
like
do the
that.
no
And
thank you too. Yeah.
there's no, thank you. No, thank
Or
you.
no,
And it's-
sir. I'll be like, no, sir, please don't do that.
Yeah. And me the whole time just going, fuck.
Yeah, I
Just
did
like-
the haunted hayride and I took my staff to it as one of our staff parties.
Uh,
And like towards the end, do you remember like the corn maze?
yeah, well,
part?
the corn maze connects all the houses. So
Yeah.
you go through it like a bunch.
So
Yeah.
when you did it, when you got out of the corn maze, were there a bunch of clowns?
Of course, yeah. They were just
Yeah.
like standing there.
Yeah. So the year we went, there was a bunch of clowns, and I had convinced a bunch of like my elderly employees to go. I'm like, it's not gonna be that scary. Like, it's gonna be fine, and we'll all be together. And they're like, okay, if you'll be there, whatever. Like, we'll go. And so there was one fucking clown. And every time I go, there is at least
You
one
just
fucking
keep coming.
no, that just follows me. There's like one that latches onto me. Like, I don't know if they just know that I don't want to like that kind of attention.
Uh-huh.
So they like latch on. But this guy was a fucking pervert clown.
Oh, yep. There's that.
And
I definitely
he-
remember this.
Yeah, he kept like walking behind me, like his face like right by my ear, which is my biggest pet peeve. And he'd be like, huh, and then be like, I know you want more of that, bitch.
Yep.
And I'm like,
It was the same.
there
it
are
had to be the
kids
same guy.
here,
It had to be
sir.
the same guy.
There are
He was like,
children.
he was being so vulgar to one of the girls that was with in our group. So it had to be the
God.
same guy.
Well, I'm sure if I was a fucking creep, I would get a job somewhere like that. But it was funny because there's obviously scared, like elderly women and my employees around me. And they're like, oh, this guy. And they're like all over the place. But no, he just like was right next to me. And of course, my husband's like, this is hilarious. And like walks off because he's like, this is the best thing ever. But he would like back up a little and then wait till I thought he was gone and come back up and be like, tell me you want it again. I'm like, I finally was like, come on, like who's under the fucking mask?
He
Like,
sounds like Freddy. We'll see,
I'm like-
bitch. We'll see.
I'm like, lift up your fucking clown mask,
Like,
dude.
I
'cause
know
and then
you.
I'm gonna remember that fucking face, and when I see you at the grocery store, like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going out in the fucking parking lot.
Done.
That's
I'm
it.
gonna
It had to be the
I'm gonna
same
tell
guy.
your kids.
This guy knew somebody else that was like on in the maze because he was like calling her by her name. He's like Stephanie. Like she's like, how
No,
the fuck
this
do you
guy
know
was
my
doing
name?
that too.
Yeah. He,
No,
like, knew
this guy
people's
called
names.
my name. No, because they listen and they fucking radio them in to tell that because that guy knew my name too,
Oh,
and I
okay.
have no idea who it is.
That's well done. Good job on them. I mean, that's a great place. It's fun.
Yeah, except for that fucking bastard.
Yeah. Tell me, come on, haunted houses. You
Sorry.
do it? We're on a
Yeah.
side tangent. You have
Yeah.
to.
Dude, I haven't been to a haunted house in years just because there's not good ones around. Like,
Oh, come
lot-
over here. Fly out.
There's a lot
We'll
in
take
the
you to some.
Northeast. There's a
yeah,
lot.
there always used to be. Like, all the good ones I would go to were back
New York
home.
City's got the ones that you have to sign the waiver. Like, do you want us to put a plastic bag over your head while we?
Yeah,
fucking-
Yeah,
no,
I
I'm
mean,
not.
like,
I'm not
no,
about that.
no,
I don't want to be in a real life Saw
Yeah,
movie.
I'm
Thank
like,
you very
good.
much.
I'm all
Yeah.
right. Unless I'm gonna come, I'm not coming.
Like, that's what a lot of them have turned into. Like, they're all going to be people coming up to you and kind of pushing you or getting real close and doing that thing.
Yeah, it's
Like-
like if I got to sign a waiver, it doesn't really sound.
I
Fun.
mean, when I was a kid, there used to be cool ones like that would, like the exhibits or the scenes would be super rad and they would just have people doing weird shit in it.
yeah.
And now it's all jump scares and I'm going to get real close to you and talk to you. And I'm like, man, I just want to like see some weird and gross shit.
Yeah,
You know, like the effects were way better. Now it's just people invading your personal space. And it's,
yeah. I mean, yeah, the effects probably are like still really good now, but yeah, it is a lot more just like how invasive can we get? It's still-
Yeah. Like,
it's a little much. It's a little much.
Yeah, that's-
That's why I always like those classic like the old school like carnival haunted house rides.
yeah. Those
you
are my
know?
favorite. Like
Yeah,
you go and just
because
look
they're
at
just
the
like
shit.
stupid, it's just like, and I was always terrified of those too because I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
a wimp. So it's
Yeah,
just
well.
like, but like they have like a smell to them of just like old plastic. It's just
Yeah.
like,
And
you know,
water.
It's just old plastic in the like standing water somewhere. Those
Yeah.
are great.
Mold.
Oh yeah, it's just
mold and
mold problem.
asbestos. That's what we want to smell when we
Yeah,
go.
there's
into
one
a
at
haunted
at
house.
Playland here in Rye. That's like there's two famous haunted houses there that are like legit old school like carnival haunted houses.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
that'd be cool.
They're over like 100 years old now at least.
See,
They're
that's the shit I'm
protected,
talking
even though the
about.
park is like garbage now. There's certain rides like that. The Dragon Coaster is like 105 years old. It's like older than the Cyclone. So it's fucking just like,
Yeah, that's the cool
uh,
shit.
yeah, those are fun, like haunted house things. Something where like like House of a Thousand Corpses, like someone's gonna push you through the ride.
Yeah, like attractions. That's the shit I like. I don't
Yeah,
need someone
yeah,
jumping out at me and getting in my face.
yeah.
Like,
I'll take some
okay, yeah,
animatronic thing.
yeah, that'd be the shit.
I want to go the one in Lancaster,
Which
Is
one's
it
that?
which is like Amish country
Oh, yeah.
in PA. It's called Field of Screams, and it's supposed to be like the worst. And it's literally out in a giant field.
Yeah.
They just
Ohio,
put you there.
Michigan got the most of them. They have like newspapers that come out because we've been on tour in those areas like during Halloween, and there's like full on newspapers that go interstate between Ohio and Michigan with like a list of all the haunted houses.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's like actually there's a really great documentary. You should watch it around Halloween time called like House Haunters. It's all about people that turn their houses into haunted houses.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
I
great
think I might have seen
documentary.
that,
It came out
actually.
like 10 years ago, probably now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
It's so good. I love
Okay.
that shit. People who make
cool.
their own haunts.
Yeah. I got a couple. So
Cool.
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is coming back into theaters August 18th. Check that out at Fathom Events. I love that it's like a thing now because there used to be like very select theaters in specific areas that would show old movies, but now everyone's getting in on it. And I love it because so many ones that I missed and all of us have missed because we weren't born yet or we were too young to see them in the theater that we get to now. Jaws is coming out.
Jaws. I need to see Jaws this summer. Yeah.
Which is weird. Why wouldn't they do it in June when Jaws turned 50?
I think some theaters did.
No, it definitely showed in some theaters, but they're doing like a whole thing. I'm like,
I think everybody's just picking it up. They probably have to. It probably has to do with the rights of showing it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And
So to Martha's Vineyard, $5,000.
Yeah, fucking crazy. I mean, I guess if you got the money, but
they do that showing in Austin, right, where you could be on like the
Rolling Road show.
Yeah,
sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to sit in the water for 2.5 hours.
No, same. No. I lived there the first year they did it, and my friend worked for them and invited me, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want my legs dangling in the." And no.
Like it's a cool idea, but like it's cool visually. I'd watch it like on the banks.
But just being wet for 2 hours
for that long.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I was saying because I don't want my body in dark water in the lake while I'm watching Jaws.
Especially like Snake Lake.
Yeah. Snakes in a lake.
Snakes in a lake.
Witchboard is getting a remake. So, I mean, I don't know if it needs one. I like the original Witchboard a lot. I guess its release is August 15th, which I think we talked about it a long time ago, but I didn't hear much about it at all.
We did. I thought it was dead.
Yeah, yeah. So August 15th, it's coming out. And another remake. It's like Land of Remakes. So The Stand is going to be returning. Another one. Doug Lyman. So
I feel like we get a Stand like every 5 years.
We do.
The last one, well, there was the 2020 with
that's 5 years ago.
Skarsgård. Which one?
Yeah, the miniseries, right?
Maybe. I didn't see it.
It's a miniseries.
Yeah. I think I just passed on it because the one before that was crappy. And even the original one from the 90s, it's cool, but it's long and it's very 90s. So like, I don't know, if they could do a cool version of it, that'd be tight. But yeah, I doubt we'll get that. And I won't talk about the Gene Roddenberry interview that's making a circulation. I'll let everyone go out and search that one because that's crazy.
Say it again.
I said I won't.
What he sent us earlier.
Yeah, I won't talk about the Gene Roddenberry interview clip that's making
I couldn't look at it.
Dude, it's fucking. I mean, it's not surprising because everyone's a fucking weirdo, especially the people that have made all the great stuff. You're like, I don't think I want to know too much about your life personally, buddy, sir, or ma'am, because it's just going to be fucking weird. And it is. So, yeah. So I would go check that out. Search it. But yeah, that's all I got for any horror news.
I forgot about one thing.
Uh-oh. Bring
Did
it
you
up.
see the small Jason Voorhees short?
I didn't watch it yet.
Is it out?
No. Well, there's like another teaser that they put out just recently, and
I know, because on Friday the 13th, they kept talking about like shit was coming, but they didn't release anything.
Man.
Right. So it's the 40th anniversary, 45th, right?
45th.
They're just going to sell more merch. I want a fucking movie or a show.
Yeah.
Right. Well, apparently there's a short that the guy who rebooted, fuck, now I can't remember who it is. It popped up in my thing earlier, did. Anyways, there's a short that's going to come out. It's
I
the
see
guy
that.
who rebooted.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
There you go.
Mike P. Nelson.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Sweet Revenge. The
And
short
what's-
will be the first
There
new
you go.
Jason film since 2009.
But tell them where it's going to be showing.
Oh, is it showing places? You tell us. You tell us if. Oh,
Yeah, I
at
can't.
Hollywood Heart.
It's a
Halloween Heart is?
glorified commercial for Angry Orchard hard cider.
Right. Yeah. I saw that on Bloody Disgusting, but now I can't find the actual.
Oh, I see it right here.
It's a vignette. But yeah, basically they were.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it says like expect for more to come because they're going to be bringing out all kinds of other things for the 45th anniversary, and I can't wait. It's going to be like the Super Bowl ads, but
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
13th.
I kind of almost feel like we're in a time for horror where just nobody knows what the fuck they're doing or what to actually do, and they're just putting whatever out there. Like, you know what would be good to amp up a new reboot of whatever? We'll do a commercial for some fucking beer.
Right.
And you're like, what? Remember, you would just make a movie and then put a trailer out and it'd be like cool. Now they just don't. They're just like, we're gonna have this thing at fucking Disneyland. All right. Or this guy, you know, buy the new Apple phone, the iPhone 75. So
I wonder if they're like efforts to like gain interest, right? Like, I mean, for Jason, it has interest, but like taking something like, oh, like we're gonna do like this new commercial for like, sunscreen, and we're gonna use like some witch
Freddy Krueger
or Elvira,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, like let's see if Elvira is popular still, so then maybe we'll make an Elvira movie. Like, I wonder if it's used to like test the waters to see if there's like interest in like a remake or something.
I'm sure it's probably
yeah.
a little bit of everything
Yeah.
to get it back
When's
out in
Camp
the public
Crystal Lake
eye.
coming?
Dude,
It's
who
still on
fucking knows?
hold, I
Yeah.
think.
No, I thought they started.
Did
They
they?
started.
No, I mean a release date. I
Yeah,
think
they
is on
started.
hold.
But it's like, that's another thing. It's everything's going to start. And then it starts and you don't hear about it for a fucking year and a half.
No, they're still casting people as of May 29th.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's stop talking about Jason then. It sounds like it's going to be a while.
Well, Universal Orlando has its first Jason-themed haunted house this year.
Oh, did they announce the houses?
Some of them they've been announcing all this week.
Nice. Are they
And
doing a Terrifier house?
usually I get so excited, but I have to say, last year we went to Halloween Horror Nights, and it was a huge bummer.
No.
And I usually go almost every year. I was sad.
That is true. You do.
Maybe you aged out. Maybe you grew up.
Never.
No, what happened was my
How
husband.
dare you, sir?
What happened was my husband finally
Okay.
went with me after years of telling him how awesome it was.
Uh-huh.
And then it was like the most lackluster one ever. He's like, "This is what you have fun doing, and it scares you." And I was like,
It's his fault.
Fucker.
Yeah,
It's
tough.
his fault and Universal's fault for knowing he was there.
Yeah. I blame them.
It's tough too when you're trying to get
Yeah, it
somebody
wasn't me.
into something that you love so much, and it winds up being like a bad version of that.
Yeah. Luckily, I snagged him on Disney though. But
There you go.
Horror Nights.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's just
Sweet Revenge.
that seems to be the mood for everything lately. Meh. But
Yeah, Daddy Hawk was the only good thing of the last one.
you were pretty psyched about that.
I was, just because he was on his little like Halloween float looking thing, just snapping his belt, and I was like, "There's kids
Ooh.
around." And no, it was just funny because there's not like small kids, but some people bring small kids.
Right.
But there's lots of like younger kids around, and his whole thing was literally just like there were 3 outfits. They kept trading off and taking breaks or whatever, but one of them was him shirtless and the brown pants, just snapping his belt at women and like kind of making a
Who was?
growling noise. The black phone protagonist.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's right.
But
That's
for
what I
me,
thought you
I
meant
mean,
that where you said Daddy
but
Hog. I was like,
yeah, they had a mask on, so it was. I'm just going to pretend it's Daddy Hawk.
Mhm.
But yeah, I went to take a picture and didn't even. Christian was taking a picture of me and like he started snapping his belt behind me, and I hadn't seen it yet, so I saw the picture. I was like, yeah, it's not bad.
You're like sploosh.
It's not
We
bad.
get it.
No, I said it. It made up a little bit for everything else to get that picture.
Good. Well, I'm glad
Mhm.
you at least got that out of it.
Even though it's some like 80-year-old carny behind that,
Whatever. don't ruin the illusion.
or like an 18-year-old like fucking
Whatever. In your mind, they could be however in between.
convict.
Old that age range
fine.
in between
some
there.
theater
it's fine.
kid. Leave him alone.
Or worse. Yeah, worse. The worst case scenario of all of them, a thespian. Yes.
Yeah. This is
Ugh.
acting. I'm acting. Like, just shut up and snap your belt, buddy.
Which honestly, that's probably what Daddy Hawk is. So it's fine.
Probably. Yeah. Anyone got anything else?
No.
Nope.
All right. That's been
Horror news.
Horror News, brought to you by Time Bomb Toys, located at 300 Camp Horn Road in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Check them out in person or online at timebombtoys.com and the Whack Shack that they're next to.
Come on down to the Whack Shack. Get
Yeah.
your whack on.
Get a little whack whack.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I totally forgot to talk about the Living Dead
Whack
weekend. No, Living Dead weekend at Monroeville Mall when I just went back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, the usual suspects.
You said there were a bunch of nerds there.
Well, there were a bunch of nerds there that are just having like a million different conversations when I was waiting in line to watch Night of the Living Dead at the theater there. But as far as the guests, Tom Savini, Greg Nicotero, and the cast of Night of the Living Dead, and they're having another one in October. So check that out at livingdead.com. Anyway, House of Abraham, guys, it's taken us weeks
To get our shit together.
There's been lots of things going on. There's been a lot of moving parts, but we finally nailed it down. And
Mhm.
Lisa's probably like, when are those motherfuckers going to talk about my movie? They had me on to talk about Sinners.
She's probably like, oh my God, they hate it so much. They're not recording the
Never
episode
doing it.
because they liked
they annoyed
me.
me so much for screeners. They kept annoying me for screeners.
I was waiting for her to just start blocking everybody after we kept asking her
Fuck
for another
them.
screener.
Yeah.
Well,
I
to be
totally wasn't
fair,
aware.
Little inside baseball for our listeners. I tried
Yeah.
watching it. And I clicked on the link like 8 times in 14 seconds, and that was the end of the screeners because I didn't realize there was like a number. And
Yeah, neither did I until you guys were like, hey, or
I
the
thought I
first
knew
time.
there was an end date, but I didn't think there was an amount of times. So I was,
Yeah,
I was trying to
They
cast it to my
actually-
screen and trying to cast it
Mhm.
to different things, and just didn't want to watch it on my phone. I wanted to give it like it's due. It's due, and so like
Right.
it was like
People were
so I fucked up.
traveling, you got kids, other stuff was going on. There's a lot of shit, but as always,
I mean, it
make
said
shit
on the
happen.
link like 3 views, but whatever. Go on.
Wow, who reads?
Yeah.
It's like reading the Apple.
Words.
Mike loses his link. Then I get another link because mine expires. And then before I watch mine, Mike uses all 3 of mine. Meanwhile, E is the overachiever and just like, I think watches it at some point.
I watched it
like day one.
Yeah, day one. I was like, all right, watching
No,
it. Maybe
he
like
was-
day 3.
He was like a week in, but sure.
Maybe, yeah.
He was just
Well,
the
we got it.
overachiever because we were way underachievers at this point.
So here's
Soak it
the
up.
synopsis. A woman looking for an end to her suffering checks into the House of Abraham, home to a mysterious cult that promises a way out. She soon discovers all is not what it seems and must plan an escape before it's too late. The House of Abraham.
Not you, but we.
Yes, we. So,
The universal we. I mean, I use that in business. It's important.
absolutely. The House of Abraham. Natasha Henstridge.
Babe.
Lynn Shay, which
Ultra babe.
Also a babe.
she's, no offense, but she's like a million. Like, I'm like, how is this lady still doing some of the shit she's doing at her age, like the physical stuff?
I thought the same thing.
I'm like, man, this woman doesn't age because she's looked the same since was it
Forever.
Happy Gilmore or which one was
Something
it?
about Mary.
Something about Mary. Yeah.
She's 81.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's
she's
not
been
that
like
old.
she's been like 56 for like 40 years.
Yeah, but that ought to be doing some stuff because there was another movie she was just in a few years ago.
Insidious, all of them.
No,
Yeah,
there
she's
was
in-
another one after that where
Oh.
she plays like some crazy like
Hereditary.
mom. Like
Hereditary.
Is she
no,
in
no.
Hereditary?
No, this
Yes.
this is after that. She plays some like old lady whose husband dies, who then opens her house to like become a bed and breakfast, but then totally scared
Scared to death.
Maybe. I just
Mm.
watched it. But she was doing like a lot of physical stuff. And I was like, God damn, you're really like
Am I tripping though, or was she the grandma in Hereditary?
I'm looking right now. When year did Hereditary come out? I feel like it's so long ago.
I know she was in all the Insidiouses.
She's definitely in all the Insidious.
Yeah.
She's in the Ouija movies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She might
Oh
not have
wait,
been.
she was in The Grudge.
The Grudge, yeah.
I'm probably conflating her with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nope.
think so. But anyway, yeah, she's fucking still being ballsy and doing a bunch of cool shit. So good for her. But yeah, House of Abraham. You know what? I was pleasantly surprised by this. There's a number of things I liked, and I thought it was shot really well for what it was. Like for an independent movie, I'm like, oh damn, all right, good. And just the angles they used or Lisa used, I was like, okay, get it, girl.
Yeah,
I thought-
the opening, like, after the initial opening, and we get the overhead shots of like the drone shots and all that stuff. I was
Mhm.
like, and the song kicking in, I was like, oh,
Mm.
like that's what I was pleasantly surprised too. I was like, oh, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was like, this is,
Oh, and she
Well,
totally
well
had
done.
like a short intro to the title card, which I so
Yep.
appreciate. I was like,
Yep.
fuck yes. I got super excited.
Yep, agreed.
I thought it was an interesting concept. So basically, there's this guy, he's kind of like a cult leader, and he has people come to his house to kill themselves.
Mhm.
Like by secret, of course, because that would be illegal. And it's Abraham. Lucas Hassel is the guy, which totally I've been sending you guys little memes, but all I kept thinking was Russell Brand. And I sent a message. I sent a message to
Oh,
Lisa,
no.
like, hey, did Lucas get any inspiration? She hasn't answered me yet because she probably doesn't want to give it up. And I'm like, come on. I mean, I'm talking about Russell Brand now because he's got the long hair, his beard's gray, and he's like
Sure.
very bohemian.
Yep.
I
and
could
stuff.
get that. There was something really cool that I don't know if you guys, maybe I was the only one who picked up or thought of this, but
Mhm.
so the first guy who dies, Victor,
Mhm.
so I like that the characters, other than people we've seen before in movies, somewhat reminded you of other ones. So like Victor, Gary Clark, if you close your eyes, he sounded just like Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah.
And then even some of his movements mirrored that. And then Alex Marvel Rex is the
Mhm.
name. I actually looked up to see if they were related to Jason Bateman because
Oh,
they
he
looked
does.
and the voice sounded. And it's funny because when I Googled to see if they're related, Rex actually talked about Lisa offering him the role and thought it was interesting that she wanted a trans character that wasn't obviously trans
Right.
or more obviously trans. And they say in the interview, because I look like Jason Bateman, I don't look like a woman who transitioned, which I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one who fucking thinks this person looks like Jason Bateman. But I think both those things kind of like made up for like some other, like maybe not being quite as talented or as strong as some of those actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
But Marvel, I actually thought did a great fucking job. Like Marvel, I thought was a standout. Actually, both those two I really liked a lot.
Yeah, he was probably like my favorite
Mm-hmm.
actor playing the character because it was kind of comic relief and sassy
Totally.
and whatever, so
but also with like a kind of cool origin story and like a deeper weird thing, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like
He brings a little bit more like levity or like charm to the story. Like there's like
let
Charm, exactly.
charm for
like,
sure.
charm for sure. Like it would feel very flat and one tone, like not one tone, but a little too ominous without that character, and
But I
not like
have
a
to
good
say,
way.
I don't know. Like to me, Lucas Hassel was like you can tell he's from Denmark. He almost seems a little too friendly, which can lend itself to sociopathic stuff, so it fits. But I will say there were certain parts, and maybe that's just because like there's so many movies with these like seriously sociopathic characters where I found, I don't want to say it not believable, but like not as strong as some. But the fucking scene in the pool where the guy is drowning and he totally pulls a like, I'm gonna fucking stay under the water just as long as you, but you're gonna drown. And he does that like wide open stare smile, like that scene, like if you clip that out, could go down in like, great horror movie scenes just because of that look and that interaction. It was really strong.
Like the uniqueness of him lends itself to the situation, right? So like he is such an over the top character that like you would never think that this person would get anybody to join a cult because they're a little too
zany,
little too zany, yeah,
and possibly wants to fuck you, but
yeah, it's just like, it's just a little too much,
a little
just
weird,
a little much like just a little weird. But the fact that it's a place where people specifically choose to go themselves because they want to die makes it a little bit more believable that like they're like, all right, like I want to kill myself. I guess I got to deal with this fucking bag.
Like who's gonna whoever's gonna facilitate me is not gonna be normal. So I got to deal with this fucking goofball.
And
like,
the rituals,
the ritual,
right?
Yeah, but the rituals are him drinking really fucking expensive scotch and then wearing a robe, and that's about the extent of the rituals.
Yeah. Which from the beginning you can tell it's just for his personal pleasure to do these things, and he's just like, I'm gonna make these people jump through hoops.
I probably because the way that I watched it in like two different or three different sittings, 1.5 times, I kind of lost the connection between him and Lin Shaye. Like, what was the connection between the two of them? Like, she was just kind of like his like gopher.
I think she came there.
Yeah, she came there to
kill herself,
but he just ended up keeping her.
Kind of like kept her around.
Because at one point he says, maybe Natasha Henstridge. Oh no, she says Natasha Henstridge is trouble because she's breaking into his house and doing things, and he looks at her and goes, "Well, you were trouble once, but look what came of you."
Right. Okay,
but that's about all they really allude to. That, but it's enough that you kind of get that.
Sure. Yeah. I thought maybe I missed something.
Which is funny because.
And she's dragging dead bodies around like 5 pounds.
Obviously, she has a thing for him. Like it's a sexual kind of desire.
Oh, those two do
him.
things for sure.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the character she played. It was Room for Rent was the movie. It was in 2019. But she plays this like crazy old lady who gets this guy, this younger dude, to rent a room. And then she starts telling people she's dating them, and she starts like dressing all slutty.
As you do.
Right. It gets weird. But
just wait till I'm a widow. Have some rooms for rent.
Right.
It's gonna get real weird.
Come here, little boys. Yeah.
It's gonna get weird.
The one thing I told you guys too is like for me, I thought this was a better execution of Opus.
Yeah. And Opus has like all A-list cast.
Right. Like I liked,
although I liked the gore,
right?
And I liked the gore in the theater scene in Opus, and I liked some other stuff. But if you could combine these two movies together, like some of the team on this movie were given that movie, it would have been night and day.
Well, the biggest drop of Opus was it had so much that it just didn't use, and we talked about that. It was just kind of like, you could have made these characters be so much more because you had these great actors and their characters are pretty interesting. And even fucking what's his name? The main character, the main guy.
Lucas
no, in Opus.
Yes.
Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
What is Malkovich?
Yeah. Like so much that could have been done, but just wasn't. Whereas this did more with less. And I thought it just hit the mark so much better.
He didn't want to do more. Maybe he wanted to just be Malkovich.
Yeah. That's what he was doing. That's how he decided to portray the art in that way. But yeah, so that's kind of where I fell with this from the beginning. I'm like, okay, yeah, it doesn't have as big names or maybe as established actors, but they're doing more with what they're giving and kind of nailing the whole, hey, this is a retreat or whatever, and I'm a fucking psycho, and I'm going to end up killing everybody.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it was interesting because, even talking to Lisa and kind of seeing some of the stuff she had done and just reading the synopsis, I thought this was going to be more A24-ish indie whatever than it was. Very art housey. And what's interesting with this is there was some really good acting in it. The story was definitely not super deep or anything, but thinking back on it and even during certain times watching it, this played like an 80s horror but updated. Even like the thumb drives and stuff, like there was a lot of very
like a whodunit clue type
silly, cheesy elements. There were some plot holes, but not enough to like piss you off. They were kind of even silly. Like even at the end, when he dies, he gets drugged or whatever, but they're going to make it look like he drugged himself. So I guess he put himself in a noose by a chair and then is hanging like with his feet flailing because he can't move his muscles. Like, it's funny. I think this movie was like one step off from being able to be like almost like more comedic, but in a great way. And I wish it would have gone a little bit more because it was so close.
A darker comedy for sure.
Yeah, it was so close. Even the older woman, like in this.
At the end.
Oh, there's so many and so many that. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, the last line, the last line of the movie. It ends like a fucking 80s comedy lining up for a sequel or 80s comedic horror.
Natasha and Marvel, when they have a couple lines together towards the end that were just like ridiculous.
Well, his character was just a smart ass, kind of like, I'm a nihilist. I don't really give a fuck, but I know I can figure everything out in a fucking heartbeat.
Oh, interesting.
But also like an empath and like gravitated, like once it was ready to die, but then realized they could protect someone. Was like, no, like I'm not going to die now because now I have a purpose. So I'm going to do that, which is what makes them great.
Well, she also
I didn't realize.
Oh, good.
Sorry. Oh, I didn't realize that the actor who played Abraham is the writer of the. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the story. Like I felt like on paper it played out pretty well.
Oh, dude, it's super interesting concept.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Something about Marvel.
I just think like his character, and actually she did a good job with all the characters, developing them in such a short amount of time, but not spending a lot of time.
Hour and a half.
Bogging it down, an hour of character development, and then all the shit happens. She was just moving through it and got you to kind of, I don't necessarily not relate, but like get involved with the characters. So
give enough backstory.
Yeah, enough backstory that can make you either like care about them or not.
Oh, and I love that the guy who drowned was like the most sniveling piece of shit ever.
Yeah.
Like it made it great when Abraham was looking at him and smiling as he was drowning.
The sweet, sweet death.
Drowning.
Yeah. I like you were saying before, Oubliette, though, I wish it would have went, and you too, Terry, that wish it would have went a little darker. Like maybe a little more gore or a little more funny, but like.
Yeah. I think darker and funnier would have been like, it would have hit a really great mark that some of the movies right now are missing.
Yeah, it's a little straightforward in how it plays out.
Right. Or keep it the same, but just add more gore.
Yeah.
to
Well,
it.
and I
'Cause-
feel like we know where this movie's going.
right.
Like the biggest twist of the movie is something that's not that far off from what you would think it is if you didn't already think it was that.
Right.
I think if it would have had like an ending scene, it would have been cute with like Natasha doing something with it, or maybe even Marvel killing Natasha or some shit. But
Yeah,
it does leave it open ended. So
Yeah, that's my biggest issue that I didn't like so much about it. Not that I didn't like
what
it.
about House of Daisy?
Yeah. I wish the ending could have just been less lighthearted. Like just for my just personal choice, I would have liked it to
100%.
kind of be darker.
I think that it would have been good at the ending if right before he hangs, like there's just that moment where he's like, "But you were the one who shot the video," and then he
Right.
like drops dead, and then
Right.
that's it.
Right. Yeah. It totally turned into like an 80s buddy movie, like
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop. And we're going to say some witty thing at the end, which is funny. It fits the whole movie because the whole movie is tongue in cheek
Sure.
and campy, but kind of creepy and everything. So it fits. But I would have liked it better. Yeah. Like you said, if it would just ended there or ended with
Same.
her being more sinister or not, or
If that part he said something like, like we each held the camera, or allude to where they both killed people
right.
or animals or whatever, and then it ended campy, because at least that would change the campiness to something like so much darker, because then you're like, oh fuck, she's gonna like do some shit. Because the holding camera thing, it's kind of like, yeah, you helped him, but did you?
Yeah, you're a kid.
You're kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Or if when she saw the video of her mom getting killed, she had a little bit different of a reaction and just sat through it. The whole like how upset she got, I think that was. I know she didn't really realize she's the one who held the camera, so it's kind of this journey of her making this realization that maybe she wasn't
right
good. But like, I feel like deep down, people with those kinds of issues know, because they're usually super smart, have great memories, very succinct with things. Like I feel like she would know, and it was more like her going after him because he left her, which seems more stories. So like, I think she should have asked to see the video while it was played, just sat there like either stone faced or even one tear or even possibly a smirk, and then like kind of lead into everything else and keep it a bit darker.
Or played it while he died. Like they're watching it together, and while he's hanging, they're watching it. And you could tell like she's getting a little bit of joy out of it. Yeah.
Like I think that's one thing. My gripe with it was her watching it and the way she reacted. Which sociopaths are also known to be liars, because that could be a manipulation to get him more into whatever. But then he wouldn't have mentioned that she held the camera. It's like, if they're both that smart and those kind of people, like those kind of games aren't elevated enough to distract or throw one or the other off the path, I guess. I think.
Right.
I thought one of the more like deeper things about the movie that doesn't really get too like fleshed out, but it's kind of leads to your own kind of interpretation, is how the main character Natasha is playing is like trying to stop this all from happening very early on. And like Abraham just kind of was like, yep, like they didn't really like, I felt like he didn't really try to stop her from stopping people, because like he just was so assumed that people were just going to go through with it, or just like, so arrogant that they would do it. And I thought that was a pretty interesting like choice to make, because I feel like in any other movie, if the main character was like causing trouble, they would have just like got rid of her. And I wonder if that's because of the connection that they're siblings, that he just didn't like
I think it could be that. I also think it could be that, like in most situations where you have like a cult leader or an environment like that, like people have been sussed out to the point where like they're the weakest link and they're going to do whatever you say. And in this case, not only are they that, they're also ready to end their lives. And so he plays God, and he doesn't think that anyone freaking out is going to make them, because even if someone's freaking out being like he's killing you, what does that mean if you want to die? You're like, okay, he's fucking killing us, like no
that's
shit.
what I'm saying. Like I thought it was like one of the more like interesting points of the movie. And I wish they kind of like went to that a little bit more, but I like that it creates more of like a talking point about the
Right.
movie because the concept is so good, but I feel like there's something like missing. I don't know what it is, but it falls a little flat for me.
Mhm.
I think it looks good, and I think the idea is great. There's just like some sort of like meat to it that's missing, and I think that might be more
Yeah.
of the connection of her with him, or this connection to death a little bit more,
Mhm.
because it is obvious, like, all these people want to die, and like there's like you don't want to do that, you don't, kind of aspect of it all. But
Yeah, I think they could have had more like I don't know, I would call them like the shining moments,
Right.
where these kind of things that connect from, I guess it'd be the siblings instead of the supernatural. I do think they could have had that. But like I said, this kind of tightrope walks in between like a more dramatic art house and something that can be kind of silly and fun. I do
yeah,
think it could
yeah,
have gone more, not even art house, but it could have explored more of those dynamics, like about death and how people act and their sibling relationship, and gotten
right,
more sinister or gotten more silly. But I didn't necessarily like where it fell.
right.
Right. Yeah. 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 I agree with all that. Like you were saying, Terry, for as much problem and trouble as she caused, he was kind of like just blew it off.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you would think at some point he would like bring her into a room and tie her to a chair and be like, if you ever fucking
Well,
do
yeah,
anything
yeah.
else, I'll kill you myself
Well,
or
and
something
like,
more
like
sinister.
Lynn,
But
Lynn Shay's character is, knows that she's trouble, and like she's been
Mm-hmm.
saying, like,
right.
she's,
Yeah.
But I think that's also his ego too, that he's just like
Yeah.
Lin Shay ends up getting latched to him. He's like, great, let her cause trouble and watch what happens. Everyone else is going to kill themselves, and then she's left with me, and it will
Mhm.
be us against each other, and she'll either
She'll join me. It'll be like a
die,
Darth Vader, Luke
servitude.
Skywalker type
Yeah,
thing. Join the dark
exactly.
side. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I thought the execution was good. Everyone did a good job. The filming was great. I thought Lisa did a real good job with keeping it short and like succinct and getting the point across in an hour and a half. Like all the characters, you knew
Same.
who they were, you knew what they were about, you liked them or didn't like them. Like everything just moved, and that was one of the main things I liked about this movie is it got to the point and moved along, and there wasn't really a lot of, if any, I mean, there might have been one or two points where it kind of dragged, but for the most part, it was all right. On to the next. We're
yeah.
moving on. And
I think the parts for me that dragged were more of like a product of like being in a scenery space. Like I felt like we
right,
started the movie going to a lot of places, and then with these
Yeah.
overhead shots, and then we get to the house, and then we're like in the house, and
right,
so we're very much like in the house in a couple shot like rooms. We're by the pool, is when we get out of the house a little bit, but we're pretty much like in a central spot. So it feels like a little like
It's very
square
like
box.
theater.
Yeah. Very much plays that
We're
way. And
small
that's why I was saying, like,
cast, small
Yep.
the
sets.
screenplay
Which I
plays like
love.
a mystery almost, even though it's
Mhm.
not a mystery. The mystery
Right.
is Abraham, but like it plays almost like a mystery. It's not super
Well,
suspenseful for me, but it definitely had like a
Well, yeah, like I said, like a clue, like a who done it. Here's
mhm.
here's the hard or the flash
Yeah.
drives, and here's this.
And I appreciate that because it's different. I feel like it's funny that the things that we're saying that we thought maybe could have spiced it up or made it a little different are things that like probably have already been done like so many times. So it's
Yeah,
nice that
totally.
it's a little different. I
Totally.
think it's our brains are trying to mess around with it. But
What it
yeah,
it
Yeah.
it reminded me of, it gave me like a Ready or Not vibe,
sure.
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
good,
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think there's something good with the simplicity to it. Like,
Mhm.
you see a lot of technology coming out. Like, my favorite thing ever right now, who are not
It's a
paying
Walkman.
us, but they should be, is like the Remarkable tablet that I live by. It's basically literally like a digital notepad that has a couple
Oh,
bells
yeah,
and
yeah.
whistles, but
Mhm.
super simple,
Yeah.
way too expensive, but
Right.
great. But I think that, yeah, we are in an era of like overstimulation, everything trying to be like a million twists and turns. Like,
Oh, totally.
Things for shock value. You see that in horror now. It's like all shock value, like Terrifier.
Yeah.
Dramas are all way too dramatic. It's not one thing that could traumatize you. It's like 50 fucking things happen in a movie that you're like, how could this all happen in 1-2 hour movie? And life is miserable. So I think there is something really nice with this. I think that they did a really good job with the actors they had. Obviously, they had some well-seasoned actors and some not seasoned actors, but it didn't seem like there was so much of a divide to make it annoying, like a lot of independent films.
Yep.
I think the casting was really well done that way. And I do think, like I mentioned before, the similarity of the voices and looks of them with some other actors that are bigger helped to like bond you with them initially and then let you love them more later. The only one I didn't like was the guy who drowned, and well,
Yeah.
he had like no lines and drowned. So I don't think you were supposed to like him.
Yeah. I appreciated too with Marvel's character that
basically we're saying, Marvel, we want to see you in more shit.
yeah.
Yes.
You did a good job, but their writing and the directing moved so quick, but gave you enough information that when he held his breath for however long, you're like, oh yeah, that's because he was a professional diver and he could do all that. It wasn't like in Opus, this chick who obviously doesn't know anything just hops on this fucking 4-wheeler and just guns it right away and is like just whipping it around
at night
shooting
too.
guns at night.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you go from that to not knowing anything to knowing everything?
Yeah.
I appreciated that. Yeah, sure. That maybe was a little bit unbelievable, but there was enough background given. We're like, oh, well, maybe. I mean, possible, plausible, maybe.
Yeah, this movie's totally possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this movie's probably happened.
Oh yeah.
I would hope so, which should not be illegal. Like, fuck it, man. If that's
yeah,
what
but it'd be
people wanna
weird
do.
if some dude was getting his rocks off on it. But I guess that should be the guy. I don't know. Well,
I mean,
no comment.
Yeah, like, I mean, at least he was thoughtful. He's like, hey, here's a mask to put on your face before we put the bag over your head because we don't want you to get all.
Oh,
humid
that
in
part,
there."
yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's just
part.
like- it's just like-
He feeds you. He,
But you know for a fact if that was happening, this dude is like jacking off all over their faces as they're dying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
But I
like
mean-
some other gross shit.
Hey, you signed that waiver. That's
Exactly.
it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, choices, freedom and choices. That's what we like here.
Yeah,
In
we're
Monster
all
Candy
about
Podcast Land. Yeah.
free speech and free choices.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to rate it?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. Who wants to go first? The moment of truth, Lisa, if you're listening, this is
I'll
it.
go first.
All right. What do we got?
I will give it a 1.75.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Horns
So
on
it's
the
a little,
cob.
it's a
On the
little
candy
low.
cob.
See?
It's at 9.5 on IMDb right now.
I know it's very high. It's doing,
But it's
very well.
also not completely, it's not out to the world.
Did you hear that,
Yeah.
Lisa? Gucci T, the one
It's
you
gonna be
the one you didn't get to
Friends and
meet,
family.
is basically saying he hates your movie.
No. If
I'm
you
just
listen to
kidding.
what I said.
I'm just kidding. I'll go next. I'm gonna give it.
Okay.
You could go ahead.
No, you
Lisa.
go ahead.
All right. For me, psychological horror or thrillers aren't necessarily my favorite. So the ceiling is kind of like in the 2s either way, unless it's something really, really good, maybe like Psycho. But for this, I think I gave Opus a 2. This I'm gonna give a 2.25, 2.25 candy corns, and that's, like I said, for a psychological thriller, you're not getting out of the 2s. So that's good. I loved the characters. I thought they all did a good job, the actors, and I think it just did a better job at executing the story versus Opus, which the story and the characters there was more to them in Opus, but it just didn't pull it off. Where like I said, this one just nailed what it was trying to do.
Yeah. They did more with less, I think, for this movie than Opus did.
Absolutely.
Which
is crazy to think, because you're like, oh, you got all these fucking highfalutin actors and writers and everything, and you're going to leave so much on the table versus, But again, that's
But they're still solid actors, solid writing, solid
Totally.
directing in this. But
yeah. But I mean, it's
the amount of people they have on Opus is just
when
for what they did
you're
was disappointing.
an
Insanely
independent,
different budgets.
yeah, when you're
Yeah.
independent and you're more hungry, you're like, I'm gonna make this work to the best of my ability instead of just some people phone it in when you get super rich and
Who is
you don't have to
who is
work
the
as
main
hard.
singer of the Bee Gees?
Which one of the Gibbs? Andy Gibb, Barry Gibb.
Abraham gave off such a Bee Gees vibe that
Oh yeah.
it was great.
More than a woman.
Like
Yeah.
every time I looked at him, I just wanted to just go.
Yep. Yeah. But I was, now that you say that, for sure. If Russell Brand sang for the Bee Gees.
Oh,
Fuck Russell Brand.
yeah, fuck that guy.
All right, Juliette, what are you giving it?
Same 2.25. I think that there was definitely room for improvement, but at the same time, I feel like I'm just holding on to being so used to either really complicated stuff or visual stuff that's like in your face.
Yeah.
I think that it was really well shot. I loved, like we've said, the length of the movie. I think in an hour and a half, you could do a great job.
90-minute, baby.
Yeah, and honestly, like, really, I think this would have made a great mini series, and I would have liked to know more about all the characters. Like, if it would be longer, I wouldn't say a longer movie or a sequel, but like an 8-episode, 45-minute episode mini series, it would have been cool as shit.
Yeah, I would even say like I would probably read a book like this as a book. Like if it was like a shorter book, like it seems like a fun read. Like because you get, like you say, you get more of those characters in there, and
it's a great story.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like the story, I don't know what it was for me that why my score didn't get bumped up, but there's something that's disconnecting, and I don't know what it is between the story and the actors delivering it, because it's like there's something hollow missing in there.
But I kind of want more. Like, think of it as a mini series where it's them coming to the house the first episode.
I think I need,
and then every other episode, like the backstory of why, and then mixed in with his kind of story and the sister's memories, and then it kind of ends. Like that would give me the depth I need.
I think I needed more to give it a better score. However, by doing so, which would make the movie longer, which is what I don't want, because
that's what I'm saying. Series has to be a series.
Yeah.
Well, I think for the most part, psychological horror or thrillers will always play better as a series.
Yeah.
Because
you do want that development, otherwise you don't get fucked up from it, right? You need to get attached to them all more.
Right, which I feel like I only really got attached to Abraham, and because he was so Abraham.
right.
And so he nailed it. So
yeah. So as a movie, I think it should have been more fun, dark comedy, raunchier. But they did such a good job with the characters that I really liked them, that I think I would have almost liked it more psychological and a little more gory as a mini series, and delving in to that, and then popping in brother and sister memories, because then I think you could have really fucked people up and surprised them.
Oh yeah.
With what happened.
And more Marvel.
Yeah, 100% more Marvel. Marvel, wherever you are. Marvel, you want to come on the show? You want to talk about a horror movie?
Come on, buddy.
I mean, any of you guys in the movie, show, the movie, we'd love to have you. But Marvel, you have new fans.
I mean, Lucas has a fantastic beard.
Oh, and I saw videos of him at the premiere. Like, he is totally adorable and like super sweet and totally from Denmark. But I would feel bad even watching a horror movie with him or talking to him about horror. He just seems so like, I just want to give him a big hug. Like,
yeah.
Have a meal.
It's weird. It's like, if this movie would have been longer, I don't know if it would have been as good, just because of the content.
Only like in a series.
Right. With these types of movies and or stories, series is always good if you're going to make it longer. But I think for an hour and a half, it was great. Like, I don't think you make it longer. Like, when you make it stuff longer, you run the risk of putting some bullshit in there that ruins the movie.
And I just realized I made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
I said Victor. The guy who sounds like Steve Buscemi, the character's name was Pierre, I think. Sean Freeland.
Oh, yeah.
But
Wait,
also,
did you give your score? Did you give your score?
we all
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Callie Sykes. We didn't mention her. That's the girlfriend of the douchebag who killed people, I think, drunk driving.
Right.
She also did a great job.
Yeah,
It's
I think everybody
it's
did a
not
good
easy
job.
to cry and be that emotional and go
It
from
ain't gonna bring back the
supportive to
kids.
sad
Yeah.
and
Speaking of
joking.
Sean Freeland's character, Pierre, like I
Mhm.
like that character. Because he's like,
Same.
they always have that one guy who's just
Larry Friedrichsen, isn't that his name? He looks just like him.
yeah. 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 But yeah, I think Sean Freeland did a good job playing the unhinged guest who, kind of throws a monkey wrench into everything or is really gung ho. But I like the twist that in the end he found everything out. He's like, fuck this. This guy's a fucking psycho. As if you wouldn't think a guy that hosts a bunch of people that want to kill themselves is a psycho anyway. But I did like the twist of him being all about it. Like, let's just get on with the fucking killing ourselves. Come on, let's go. And then right before he commits suicide, he goes into the booth, the confessional, and's like,
Mhm.
fuck this, I'm getting out of
Oh.
here. This guy's a fucking weirdo. And then he gets killed. So I
Larry
did like that.
Fessenden. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
He's literally that same sort of character.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was an easy watch.
Mhm.
It's always good when a movie's an easy watch. When you can watch
You,
it.
you had easy time watching it. Once you
And,
get it running, it's easy to watch.
Apologies to the kid who played the douchebag because we're not mentioning you. Other than that, I don't like you.
You did a good job playing a douchebag.
Douche.
Mm-hmm. So maybe you're a great actor, but
yeah,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Well, it averages out to a 2, which is a solid. Hey, this is a good movie. I think it'll do well because I think it has a wide appeal.
I hope it gets out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's got to pick this up streaming wise. It's good.
And this is another movie that is a great introduction kind of horror thriller.
Mhm.
Like this is a movie that people who don't necessarily like horror will probably go to see if it gets in enough theaters, and this may make them want to see something a little more.
Oh, absolutely.
And a little more, and then they end up like us, and you're fucked.
Well, and Lynn Shay's character is just hilarious when she gets mad. Like her unhinged character is always hilarious. It's
Totally.
so over the top.
She's so feisty.
Yeah, you can't I think she's a hilarious actor. No matter
she
what
is.
She does. So
She goes from 0 to fucking cuckoo pants, nobody's business.
Yeah.
She will go from "I want to give you a hug, sweetheart," where I'm gonna bite off your testicles,
that's
there's no big deal. That's just a normal transition.
It's so intense,
right?
Mhm.
Which is funny because you look at this sweet older lady, and then she just turns into a fucking psycho.
I mean, I would say her and the guy from Poltergeist 2 and a couple other people in their elder years are the reason I'm terrified of the elderly. So,
yeah.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Lynn Shay. It's all your fault. Yeah, but I mean, if this gets out, I think a lot of people are going to like it. Because, like I said, it gives that Ready or Not type vibe, which is really big with the younger generation. Because it's campy and it's funny and a little dark. So it's not too scary necessarily.
And it's got some real babes in it, too.
Yeah.
Which, that always is good.
Absolutely. So I think if and when it comes out into a theater near you folks, hopefully you should go see it and check it out. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like in a theater, on the big screen. Yeah.
Especially that pool scene. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pool scene.
So yeah, hopefully it pops up somewhere around here and I'll go check it out in the theater too. But I don't know.
And if not, hopefully it gets to streaming soon so everyone can watch it.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Oubliette. What do we got on? What do we got coming up next? It is the summer. So this next movie might fall into the summer Slaughter Creature series, I think.
Da, da, da.
So what do we got? What do we got coming up, Oubliette?
Indiana Jones.
You son of a bitch.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's like
I mean, I would love to do Indiana Jones too, but
same composer,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
director.
No. Yeah, I was gonna do the indie song first, just so you guys would be like, "Fuck, she's fucking us up." But you can tell it's the same composer because, like, it's just so good. Anyways,
Drum roll. Boom, boom,
I want to
boom,
hear
boom.
somebody's best impression.
Well, you know, we have a.
the dinosaurs and they always
I thought you were gonna do like pterodactyl.
It's kind of a ride.
Oh, you guys are both doing Goldblum.
Look
No, I'm not doing
look
Goldblum.
at my bare chest. Look at my bare chest. Don't you
doing
like it?
I'm doing-
I'm gonna sit
I
here
got the
with
beer
my.
right now. I'm doing.
Oh, that's right.
I'm doing.
That's
Hamlet.
right.
Hey,
Okay.
who's that?
You guys went for that, and I was going through like for a pterodactyl noise.
Dinosaur.
Hey, we were saving that for today.
What's the thing the computer says?
Mr. DNA.
No, the you didn't say the magic word,
Didn't
right?
say the magic word.
Newman.
Okay.
Hello, John. Hello, John. Hello, John.
If you guys haven't guessed yet,
From the let's see, what's another random quote for that movie? The little
There's so many.
fleas. I said, look at the fleas, mommy. Look at the fleas.
So yeah, what's the movie, Oubliette?
I don't know. I'm enjoying this.
I read his book too, but his book is much bigger than your book. You said I should ride with you. She said it'd be good for you.
All right, hold on to your butt. Hold on to your butts, motherfuckers,
I
because
hate this kind of crap.
we believe that life always finds a way at Monster Candy Podcast. And because of that, it's almost the 4th of July. You know what that means. It's time for dinosaurs and people to live together just like God always intended.
Absolutely.
With saddles.
And so we're going back to the beginning. Going back to the beginning of the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The first time that people and dinosaurs really fictionally lived together, not in Genesis.
No Jesus horses. Yeah. Jurassic Park. This will be fun because
Jurassic World creationists.
I watched it for the first time in years.
Ever?
Like no, not. I saw it in the theater when it came out, but in like over
you clever girl.
well over a decade. Well over a
Wants to be
decade.
fed, he wants to hunt.
So I was like, whoa, okay. And luckily I got gifted some Jurassic Park DVDs and I had it. I was like, I'm gonna throw that on. And then watching Goldblum and his
Those are
bare
movies to have.
chest. Yeah.
But you didn't do his whole creation thing. That's his best one.
There's so like
God creates dinosaurs.
dinosaur.
No. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God.
yeah.
Women takes over the earth.
Women inherits the earth. Or dinosaurs eat man. Women
Yeah,
inherit
that's
the
it, man.
Like I don't want to get into it now, but I kind of want to say a little bit of something, but I'm going to hold off.
The chaos theory, like tiny imperfections, minuscule imperfections on the skin.
I definitely have things to say about
It's going to be a
Mr.
big one,
Goldblum.
guys.
It is gonna be a big one.
This is like a movie that has certain parts in it that hit my mind all the time working in restaurants. So
I think of this movie daily. It's
yeah.
the first movie I saw on Laserdisc.
Every time I see amber jewelry or amber, I'm like, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Of course. Is there a mosquito
So
in there?
fucking dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're in that age where even though we are not the same age, we're all of the age group that movie had some kind of
This is
Effect
effect.
on.
this movie is the
Oh
culmination.
God, okay, we can't do it. We
Maybe
can't do it. We can't do it.
yeah.
God, Jesus Christ, you're giving it away. They're not going to come back to listen to the Jurassic Park episode if we give it away right now, guys.
They will
hate
not.
This movie.
Come on. I know this is going to be a pile of
This is the
shit.
worst movie ever.
I hate dinosaurs just as
Are we
much as I
doing
hate kaiju.
Are we doing just the first one? Or are we doing the whole series?
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Just the first one for now.
Got it.
Yeah.
But we might try to make it through.
I started
Uh,
rewatching number 2 right before we started recording tonight.
Well, let's see what happens then.
We'll
That
see what
sexy
happens.
young Vince Vaughn. Mm.
Hmm.
Right off his.
Swingers was the only sexy young Vince.
Hey,
Vaughn.
baby.
No.
Hey,
After
baby.
that, he blew up. No, right
Yeah.
Right
after
after
that.
Psycho.
No.
Wasn't he in the Phantom? Or no, that's Billy Zane.
No.
Billy Zane.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, yeah, stay tuned for Jurassic Park on the next episode of Monster Candy Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. And make
Marvel, do the podcast with
Marvel.
us.
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Yo, Marvel, come on.
Watch and talk about it with
No,
us.
you can pick your own movie.
No, we can't. We picked it for you.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check it out if you can. If it's on streaming or in a theater. It'll
What do
be
they got
fun.
in there? King Kong?
The House of Abraham.
House of Abraham.
House of Abraham.
Yeah, guys, and we'll see you next time. And yeah, get ready for summer because we got some creature features coming towards you.
Well, hello, Mr.
And some other
Fancy
bullshit.
Pants.
And some other
I
bullshit.
hear you looking for candy.
We got it all.
bitch.
Got it all, baby. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.
Want some candy?
You ever dance with the dim light of pale moonlight? We don't have to be mean.
Yeah, Jack Burton just looks that big old storm right square in the eye and he says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.